This video is for Sydney Train site supervisors. Namely, we're looking at the reviewing of submitted operator work logs using the Equipa web application that is on desktops, laptops, etc., as opposed to what we would ideally like you to do, which is using the Equipa app on your mobile devices in the field. Being that as soon as an operator has submitted their work log, they can bring a QR code up to you on their screen. They can get you to scan that with your Equipa app on your mobile device and review and approve there and then, and that completes the whole process. Now, we do know that sometimes this is not available or not possible to do, so you can come back to the web application at a later date. And when I say later date, as soon as possible, search for all the unconfirmed work logs that are associated with you and review and approve them. We don't want to have too many unconfirmed work logs pending for too long a periods at all. It affects invoicing, contracts, etc. Now, as a site supervisor, you should have been added as a participant to the booking, and I'll come to that shortly. What you're going to do is log into Equipa, go down the left-hand side of your screen, go to the Work Logs tab here. And what you get on here is it'll open up to an unconfirmed. So you get all the work logs that were currently unconfirmed across all Sydney trains. Now, you've just got to filter and find the ones associated with you so you can review and approve. What I wanted to show you, just a couple of things of good habit to start with. Press on this Clear All Filters. What we want to do is make sure we're not filtering from the start. We clear all filters, press on Show All Filters, and what you've got now is a whole span of different filters to use, but also you've got this quick search, so you can narrow down very quickly what unconfirmed bookings are associated with you, the site supervisor or the participant on that booking. Now, using quick search, you can search by booking IDs, purchase order numbers, etc. But most people will probably use these filters. For example, you might want to search by booking ID. If you type to search here, you might get the 933B number and prefer to search that way. Press submit. Other ways, very important one is probably participant. Now, all site supervisors should have been added as participants when the booking was first created by Sydney Trains. Now, when you go and search by participant, the first person is going to be yourself. You would choose yourself, press submit, and it's going to filter just those unconfirmed work logs associated with you as a participant. Now, if for some reason you were not added as a participant in the booking, but you were on site and you are qualified to review and approve, you still can log in here and you can search by booking IDs or purchase order numbers, etc. But alternatively, you could go to PHS support, ring them up, ask them to add you to that particular booking so you can find it very easily in here. Now, if they add you as a participant, again, you would just go back into this area, choose yourself, press submit, and find the ones you want. Now, one of the most preferred ways, I believe, is show only my work logs filter. So you press on this show only my work logs filters, you're going to see just a list. In this case, there's 4 outstanding work logs that I need to go in and review and approve as a user. So for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to choose the bottom one here. You can go to the review tab down the bottom, but I'm just going to press anywhere along this row. So just put your cursor in there, press on it. What it does is sweeps in this view box from the right-hand side of your screen. And this is just a read-only section. We'll come back to the cancel shift review work log area shortly. But what I wanted to show you, this is an area you can have a quick look and go, yep, I can see the purchase order number, the location, who it was logged by, the operator, their check-in time, check-out time, location. And as we scroll down, you can start to see the hours input for normal time, overtime, meal breaks, etc. for the attachment usage. But very important, just keep in mind of this for when we review shortly. The operator has made a comment here. They said, I forgot to check in at the start of the shift. They arrived on site at 5:50 a.m. for a 6 p.m. start. They finished the shift at 2 p.m. Then they're ongoing. They're saying that they checked in and checked out at the end of the shift instead of checking in at the start. But they are saying that the actual hours worked have been logged correctly in here. At the bottom here, you can insert any text here or comments that you want as well. Now, just keep in mind this operator comment for when we review, because there's a warning going to pop up. Before we do that, but I just want to show you the cancel shift area. If you believe this work log is just redundant, it shouldn't be in here, you can cancel it in this area. And the reason being, if you press on cancel shift, you just got to put a comment in here as to why you believe that shift should be cancelled. Now, it might have been purely weather purposes. It might have been permits not arriving on time, and so the shift is delayed or works are delayed and nothing commenced. You would then press submit and that work log will be cancelled. But for the sake of this video and review. We're going to keep this open and we're going to go to the review work log tab. So this is where you actually physically go in, press on that, and it's going to open up a pop-up box. It's a live box where you can see all the information just on the way here. But this warning that popped up, now the reason for that is because the check-in time and the check-out time were very close together. And that even though the operator did make comments, we're just saying here, please be mindful when you're reviewing. This is a warning that to look into. Why was their check-in and check-out times so close together, yet they've logged normal and overtime for up to 10 hours? So again, just a warning. Press OK. This takes you into the box here. This is where we do our review. Now at the top here, you've got a tick box. Basically, it's a declaration. It's your electronic signature. So as an authorised representative of Sydney Trains, I have examined the work log and in my opinion it is a true and correct record of the times worked. I confirm I was on site and shift was fulfilled. So again, you've got all the information that we just looked at earlier. What we really want to do is get to this area here and look at the normal time, overtime, meal breaks, etc. Now, the numeric values you see in here is what the operator has input. You can override these if you believe they are incorrect. Now, if you want to know a bit more about what each element is, like normal time, overtime, you've got a tooltip, this blue circle with an I symbol. If you press on that, for example, actual time worked. Normal time is any period between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. So feel free to have a look at each of those to see what they're about. Now, for the sake of this review, let's say that you believe they didn't work 8 hours, they actually worked 7. So you're going to override that. You're going to keep overtime as 2 hours. Meal breaks, we're just going to leave that one as is. However, in the event that a meal break didn't occur, you can put that in the comment box below as to why. That would be changed to 0 then. But also, normally an operator would have a 30-minute meal break if they're working a 5 to 6 hour or more shift. Now, downtime, very important. We just want to have a look at downtime. Just have a look at the tooltip here. Downtime, it's used to record any downtime that would be deducted from the total hours worked. So, for example, a plant breakdown. So just be careful, mindful of what has been input there. Attachments and additional attachments, we're just logging the actual hours worked, not the minimum hire period. And that's the case also. Very important for all these normal times, overtimes, etc., that you're really logging the actual hours worked, not the minimum hire period. So really want to stress that point. As we go further down, transport, daily travel, that's always at 1. And then you've got a comments box here. So you can make any comments in this area as well. Just be mindful that your comments in this area, they can be seen by Sydney Trains, but they also can be seen by the supplier. So very important to be mindful of that. Now, lastly, before we confirm this, we've got the supplier feedback area. Now, this is only available to Sydney Trains personnel and those reviewing, approving work logs. Supplier feedback, it's very important. And we don't want this to be a tick and flick exercise for you. We use this supplier feedback to manage the supplier KPIs and also for future engagements. So please take your time and answer these correctly. You've got 3 questions we look at: safety of operators' work, quality of operators' work, and the machine quality. Now, for each of these, if you put your cursor in there, you've got the opportunity to answer unsatisfactory, meets expectations, or exceeds expectations. Now, if you put meet expectations, you can just continue on to the next question. If you put unsatisfactory or exceeds, you're going to get a comment box. We'd like you to put a comment as to why it was unsatisfactory or exceeds expectations. Now, if you put nothing in there, you'll probably get a call from PHS support as to why that was unsatisfactory or exceeds if you don't make a comment. So please comment in this area. Now, for completing this review, we're just going to put meet expectations for each of these and press the confirm button. Lastly, I'm just going to show you quickly. You'll remember that we overrode the normal time. So we said that they actually worked 7 hours. The operator said they worked 8 hours. But any changes you make as the reviewer will show in red here. So there's a very clear view of any change that's made there. And that's your work log, your review and approval complete, and your work's done here. Thank you.